Alright guys, welcome back to another video here with Kyle Chris, and today we're going to go over the KP list that I've been running at locals so far, and just kind of giving you guys a kind of an update and just kind of how the deck actually plays. So far I feel like I've done pretty well with the deck. Lost a few games, nothing really crazy that seems to be a weakness to. I've played against just about every color. Against every color, and the deck feels very solid. There's been games where I've been able to aggro people down very quickly. Won a few games on turn 2, turn 3. Realistically not on turn 2, probably more so turn 3. We've gotten close on turn 2 a few different times, but mainly turn 3. And then I've had games where you can kind of draw it out, play a little more, a little bit on the slow side, and this deck actually does have a very good mid-range sort of switch that you can pull, and the deck just performs very well in that sort of that way. A lot of stuff with control decks late game, especially floodgate decks, like anything blue really. You have the SS3 deck, you have baby, so anything that's really going to play a lot of floodgates, you do have the tech for, which I have one of my tech cards in the main deck that I'll show you guys. We'll go over the deck list here. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I figured doing deck lists like this would be a little bit better, just so you're actually able to see the cards in their entirety. And you can pause the video if you want to, see ratios and things like that. So, a leader has the ability of playing out stuff for free. And you do have to take a life when you do attack on the awakened side. On the back side, you can end up playing some bigger guys, 15Ks, 3 costs at the most, as well as being able to keep one alive by pitching a Z energy, which I've done very rarely, very rarely, because it's off a skill. So like red's really popular right now. When red, if it negs one of your battle cards, you can't bring it back because it's removed by game mechanic. So it's a little bit of an unfortunate thing there. So, but we'll start here with the deck. We have 2 of the Faithful Aid pianos. This is your searcher. 2 felt fine, but I believe we're at 52 cards in the list. You search out your 2-drop unisons and your Namekian and Demon clans that cost 4 or less. So you can search out primarily the majority of your deck. This is a great turn 1 play if you don't have the next card that we're going to go over. But Piano also is great because he's a good card to put in your Z energy. You can play him turn 1. Your opponent swings in for 10k. Just combo him away. Now he has all of his usage. Now he's in the Z energy, and now you can use that for Z energy later on. 3 King Piccolo and 2 of the trio card here. So Piccolo is your main draw engine. He's a barrier 4k. When you play a demon, by a skill you get to draw a card and take up to 1 life. So you're essentially drawing 2 cards per turn. And then also when he's played, if you have a demon clan in play, you get the draw card. So if you have the piano in play, you actually get the draw card. That's pretty cool. His bottom effect where you get the draw off of a demon clan being played off a skill is only limit 1, so you can't trigger multiple of these in 1 turn. However, you can play multiple, and that's very good. There's some particular combos you can do with having multiple of these in here, but you're really only going to keep 1 on board for most of the game, and it doesn't really do much outside of that. So 3 is fine. We run 2 of the trio card. This card actually plays out the King Piccolo from the deck, which is why we don't need 4. Peel Off is also good. This card counts as a Earthling, which is important for one of our boss monsters. It's not searchable off Piano, which is the only problem, but you can play it, either draw a card or play out the Piccolo from the deck. So this is also just a +1. This is just a tap 1, draw 1, essentially. That also can be used for 5k combo power. So now we get to the Demon clans. 3 Symbol, 4 Tamarine, and 4 Drum. These are your demonic subordinates. Symbol is great, pumps 2 cards, 5k when it attacks. Also can be used as a double strike Champa sort of effect for 1 energy. You can combo it from the board or from your hand. Tamarine, I see a lot of lists playing a lot of other Demon Clan cards. There's like a 15k crit guy. There's some other cute little guys you can play, but this card here generates so much value. Playing it for free, KOing a 4 or less, and then also tapping 1 green to draw a card I don't know what else you want from the card. Thank God it's not a 15 or a 20k, because this card would be ban worthy, I think, because it's so much value. It's kind of like old red drum from the Red King Piccolo deck. What's cool is that you can also swing with your leader on the unawakened side, play this guy, use the energy to draw one, and then restand the energy off your awakened. So that way sometimes you don't actually have a way to spend an energy before you attack and go into your combo phase. So at least being able to play a tambourine to then draw a card actually ends up working out. And then drum is also good as a 4 of. It's a 15k blocker, kills anything on play. You can combo it from the drop if your leader is awoken, and you can combo from the drop for just activate battle limit 1. You can put it in the Z energy afterwards, but then once it's used for Z energy, it goes to the it gets removed from the game instead. So this is the lineup I have. Like I said, the other Demon Clan cards are cute, but they don't do as much as you really think. They're cute little tech cards. They're not as I don't think they're as consistent. Once you start throwing those cards in there, this is having spot removal, a draw engine, extra swings, also a double strike. I don't know why you would want to add more to the deck. 3 of the Piccolo Jr. This is a negate when you're at 3 life if you have one of these guys in play. It's a 15k barrier as well. It comes in an active mode. And then we have 4 of the Piccolo the King Piccolo, which you can play for 1 if you play out any of these demons for free off a skill. So when you swing, you can play tambourine and either tap 1 to draw a card here, or tap 1 and play the King Piccolo. When this card swings, it restands itself and then pumps 2 Demon Clans by 5. If you combine this with the symbol pump, you actually can get symbol up to 20 and another card up to 20, and then you have 2 20k swings with this. This is kind of where the aggro comes in. There's some matchups where this doesn't end up working very well, but being able to play out one of these guys into a King Piccolo and then just remove a unison is very impactful. It's very, very impactful. Also can evolve on top of the 1-drop here for 1 energy, which is why sometimes you can just play it out, and then that way you always have a 20k double strike. I mean a 20k swing available if you want to tap the 1 energy. 4 of the Piccolo unison. I think it is the best unison for the deck, just being able to just +1 draw 1. When you have a Z energy, this card becomes a 20k when you KO something that's off of a skill or off of KOing it in battle. So why the comboing for the piano is really good is you can combo piano off, get this in your Z energy, play this turn 2, and now you have access to keeping this alive and making it a 20k, which is very good. -1 becomes dual attack. It's come up every now and then, but more often than not, you're not going to end up minusing this. This next card here is a tech card that I feel like most green decks should be running now. If you're not, you need to buy this card. This card is incredible. So Golden Frieza, Unison of Malice. It's a 2-drop, meaning it's searchable off piano. You +1, you cycle a card on top of your deck, and then this card gains crit for the turn. So why this is good is that you can actually pressure your opponent with 15k crit with a Unison early, and this actually allows you to, especially against blue decks, you can just kind of, force, resources out of their hand, like Sensu Beam, D-Magic, Beerus Destroys, things like that, or you just force them to take a damage. And blue cards have, blue decks have a lot of good cards in them, and being able to crit something particularly well makes this card, very valuable. The -2, your opponent cannot attack until the start of your next turn. Your opponent, if your opponent wishes to attack with a battle card, they have to choose one of their battle cards, 2 or more, and place it in the drop area. So it does not say KO. So this is very effective. For 1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So this works very similar to Dirty Burst when it comes to Gogeta. So it doesn't. The effect's not on Gogeta itself. However, it is on the player. So if they go to swing at this card, they go to swing at the Gogeta. I believe it works one of 2 ways. Either A, if they don't have a card to KO, they can't swing with it anyways. Or B, even if they have a card to swing, because they're swinging with the Gogeta, you can't actually trigger the effect because you can't KO something or put it in the drop. I think that's how it works. or if someone goes to swing with something else on board and they can't pick their Gogeta for the target because it can't be chosen by skills. There's a few different variances of this, but this is any battle card. So this is actually really good against a lot of decks. Also against Z decks. There's something with Z decks that I don't know the actual answer to yet. So I'm currently trying to figure it out. I don't know actually how it's going to be, ruled. But I believe this card stops all Z battle cards from attacking. I could be wrong, because when Z battle cards are removed from the battle area, they are removed from the game instead. They do not enter a particular zone. Because this card doesn't say KO, it says place that card in the owner's drop area. I don't think you actually can choose Z battle cards for this effect because they can't be put in the drop area. I could be wrong. Doesn't matter there. But the fact is that it is a floodgate that is searchable. It's a floodgate that also swings, and it's something that it's a little bit bigger than better than a Bigamore, because you're able to actually play this in the deck as a functioning card, and then just -2 whenever you want to, and it's uninteractable. Your opponent can't interact with this at all. Better than Bigamore because a lot of people are also playing smaller battle cards, especially red decks. They're playing the there's the 4-drop Sin in the red Sin deck. There's the Goku Z battle card. There's the Vegeta Z battle card. Both of these cards are not 6 energy, so Bigamore doesn't do anything to those cards. So playing this forces them to KO their own stuff. Also, they can't choose barrier cards. So if you're playing against something like Trunks Vegeta, you slam this, your opponent can't attack with any of their Vegetas because they can't KO the Trunkses. They can't swing with any of the 1-drops because they all have barrier and you can't target those. It really limits what your opponent can actually do for a turn, and can end up just buying you a turn, when then next turn you can go in for more stuff. So it's a very good card to run. Definitely is one of in the main, possibly more on the side. We get to the Faded Rival combo. We have 3 and 3. This combo here goes in any green deck from now on. You have to run this combination. So for 2, you can play the Goku if you have 3 more energy. Your opponent has 3 more energy. You play Goku. You bottom deck an Earthling, Namekian, or a Saiyan from your Z energy. Comes into play, KOs anything ignoring barrier, and now it's a 30k double strike barrier. Then for 1, you can play Piccolo, and Piccolo is also great. Piccolo's activate main, it removes a marker for every card in your Z energy, meaning you can play this, and if you have 4 cards in your Z energy, you smack 4 markers off your opponent's unison, and it's got 25k dual attack. When it swings, your opponent pitches a card. This combination can win you blue matchups. If you can plant a Goku on board, and then just follow up with a Piccolo Jr., you can remove blue unisons incredibly well. Even if they decide to God Sealing this back to your hand or whatever, it still affects. If it hits the board, you remove their unison, and then you swing at them twice. You remove 2 cards from their hand. This combination is incredibly deadly. Piccolo Jr. is also good because it can evolve on top of the negate for 2 energy. So you have that option in there as well. For Paragus, this is just a super combo of choice. You also can bottom deck this off of your Goku, since it is a Saiyan, so it's pretty cool. 4 free a charismatic villain. It's pretty standard for most green decks. 2 dormant. So I have a confession. I think this is probably the worst card in this entire deck. I hate this card. I think in every game that I've played so far, I've played probably against, maybe 10 or 11 different decks. Best of 3s. I think I've activated dormant maybe 2 or 3 times total. I've probably sided this card out in probably every matchup, almost. I think maybe 1 matchup I kept it in, but almost every matchup. So we'll say 95% of the time, I have sided out dormant potential. It's just a terrible card. I don't like negging 1 card from hand to not negate the initial attack. Red's really popular. People are running Hidden Ambition, and also I'm not walking into a cooler. It's not very fun. There are people who swear by this card. That's great. I don't like it. I have to run it because it does do some stuff every now and then, when the right opportunity pops up. But I don't think it should ever be a 4 of anymore. It doesn't feel that valuable to me anymore. I feel like there's other stuff I would rather do with this. 3 homicidal clones. It's pretty pretty standard stuff there. A card that I think should be implemented into every green main deck is Dark Deathball. So this card, I think this card's better than Dormant, which is why I think like the pitching effect should go off Dark Deathball, not Dormant. So if you have a Unison in play, when your opponent plays a battle card 4 or less, you can use this card and send it to the drop instead, and then KO a 1-drop. Why this is good, this card stops one of the hardest cards for any deck to stop, which is Vegeta Ready to Rumble. They go to Vegeta Ready to Rumble, you tap 2, or the second effect, you pitch 2 cards from your hand to activate this effect, which you're going to have a ton of cards in hand. You completely stop that effect, and then you can just keep pushing for damage. The KOing something with the cost 1, it does happen from time to time, but this card is just incredibly good. I think I side 2 of them, and I main deck 1. Against Gogeta, your opponent can never arrival a 4-drop. Between this and then if you play Dodoria, your opponent can't do anything. You're going to just continuously just snipe them before they come into play, and they're never getting another battle card on board that they can swing with. So basically, they're just not generating much more value off stuff. But definitely Dark Deathball, I think it's good. You do have to pitch 2 cards. It's whatever. Who cares? We draw enough in this deck. It's going to happen. You also do run a lot of like dead cards sometimes. So like you may have multiple Unisons in your hand. You have a Dormant or Homicidal Clone or something like that. So just pitching some cards, it doesn't really matter sometimes because you can't combo with some of them anyway, so it doesn't matter. 2 Kaioken Son Goku the Furious. So this is the new TP card. It's a 15k. You play it on 3 energy, and you play it for 1. Your opponent pitches a card, and it is a 15k crit. You can also pump for 10k for 1 more energy. I did get my hands on some of these, so I'm running 2 of them right now. It's great. This kind of replaces Zamasu right now, at least in the main board. This card can be hit by Resolve Renewed. It can be hit by a lot of different stuff, right? But it's 1 energy, and if your opponent doesn't hit it, your opponent tells to pitch a card, right? That's why I like this card a little more than Zamasu, because you can play this card in the yellow decks, or any sort of deck. Like if it hits the board, your opponent still has to pitch a card, and this is before you even attacked. Now it's a 15k crit, and your opponent is going to pitch a card, or they're going to lose resources because this is swinging for crit. It's very good. Definitely should be picking this up if you're a green player. And then my secret rare of choice is Supreme Kai of Time. Being able to stop battle card, being able to stop leader in unison attacks is very crucial. Because we have Dormant, we have the Golden Frieza. Like we have ways of stopping battle card attacks. And we're not really worried about that too much. But being able to stop unison and leaders and then just wiping their board away, still a very good skill. Definitely would recommend this over things like Pan or even the Buu counter. Kabito Kai is cool, but this is, I think, by far the best one. In the small Z deck that we have, 2 Vegetas here just because we need to fill up space. Sometimes you do get stuck at 5 life or 6 life. You can play this for 1, go down to 5, swing at leader, go down to 4, and then you can awaken. For Frieza, this card is super undervalued. I see a lot of people not really talking about this card just because of how good Frieza and Goku are. But they don't talk about the fact that this card, it's got Deflect, it's a 15k double strike. It pops a 5 less. And then you can also swing at something else when this is on board. And you pop a Z energy and your opponent pitches a card. So you can actually as the game goes on later on in the game, you play this guy out for 2. You already have swingers on board. Maybe you have a Piccolo on board, right? You swing at Piccolo. They pitch a card off Piccolo, and then you pitch a Z energy, and they pitch a second card. And this card's got a double strike, which just allows you to close out games, especially when you have that low hand size, and your opponent's not really prepared for this. You just play this, pop something, and then swing for game. And then obviously we run the Z leader. You play it at 2 life, and you have to have a King Piccolo in your drop. You give all of your green Namekian and green Demon Clan cards 5k. Permanent, the second permanent, if you have a King Piccolo card in your Z energy, this card gets 5k and crit during your turn. So the first effect here gives your leader as well 5k, because your leader is a Namekian. Permanent, if a King Piccolo card is in your Z energy, this card gains 5k and critical during your turn. And activate main, you can play a 3 or less Demon Clan. So you can only play these 3 guys here, or Piano. You cannot play the you cannot play the Piccolo Junior or the King Piccolo. So those are just some other small things there. But this deck is, like I said, it's very good. Not much really to say negative wise. Red matchups haven't felt that bad. I think the big change that I made from the 2 locals that I played was the Kaioken. I ended up switching that out because I pulled those. So I switched out Zamasu for that. I ended up putting Zamasu in the side deck. Blue's still popular. You're going to end up still playing against blue decks. So having access to Zamasu. And then also because you can Kaioken into Zamasu, which is hilarious. So you can tap 1, make him pitch a card, swing 15k here, and then tap 1 to sacrifice the Kaioken to go into Zamasu. There's a lot that you can do with it. That provides a lot of kind of like minor hand destruction, which just forces a lot of resources out of your opponent. So just some small things, like so no side deck showing, just because we're getting close to Nat season. I want to keep side deck options that I have kind of hidden. Showed off, I give you guys a little bit of spice with the Golden Frieza and stuff like that, but most of it I'll probably keep it to myself just in case we do end up taking this deck to Nats. I like to keep some of my cards hidden. So but that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.